Welcome to the Republic of Rugby, and we are going to review the rugby from Six Nations Round 2, but there's nothing really to talk about. So anyway, it's lovely seeing you. Hope you're well. Subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you on the next one.
Oh, flower of Scotland.
Hello, Jordan. Good morning. How you doing?
Oh, I'm good, thanks. And you, Tim? How you doing?
Oh, you even went Scottish then with the och. We have got lots to talk about, and genuinely, please do subscribe to the channel. It's a new thing. We're trying to get the North-South rivalry going ahead of the Nations Championship. We're trying to share cultures, share passion, and rugby is at the heart of it. Whether Jordan's in South Africa, I'm here in the UK, so subscribe to the channel. Be part of the Republic of Rugby as we get into, you've already probably got the tone of today's episode, I would have thought, today's show.
Tim, why don't you tell me let's get the elephant out of the room here. Murrayfield, Scotland, the best team in the world.
Yeah.
What on earth happened there?
Scotland are the best team in the world. That's what we've learned. Only the best team in the world could beat England 5 times out of the last 6 games, have our number, and not just win, but win at a canter. They won comfortably. They absolutely rinsed us. I don't know. I'm starting to wonder whether it's psychological on both teams, for that matter, whether Scotland just have that confidence that, oh yeah, we're going to win again. Whether it is, I talk about the passion and the rivalry and the history of the Six Nations, whether it is something a little bit deeper that gets unlocked in some of these guys that takes them to a place that they can't go on any other occasion. But however they're doing it, they just fundamentally, they proved they are a good rugby team and they played really well, and England had an off day. And I guess that's probably my biggest takeaway when I sort of put it in context of international rugby generally. International rugby's in an amazing place. And if you have an off day, as you know, your boys found, I was there in Ellis Park back in July or August, whenever it was, the start of the Rugby Championship. South Africa had an off day and got absolutely smashed by Australia. And the same can happen with any team if you're not at your best. England were just poor, and Scotland had a good day.
Do you think it's more frustrating to be an English fan at the moment or to be a Scottish fan? Because, I mean, you look at that game and Scotland can be one of the best teams in the world, but they go and do what they did in Rome. 1 week later, they're playing, like I said, one of the best teams in the world. Surely that's also a little bit frustrating. They have it in the locker. They have the personnel. And I was giving quite a lot of strife to Townsend for his team selection. He turned around and put that pie in my face.
I think you're probably onto something there. England haven't become a bad team overnight. They do have 12 straight wins. The issue which I talked about the last time we spoke was England haven't done it away from home against a big team. We've beaten Argentina, but that was kind of the 2 second teams going against each other. And with the challenge that England have got of Argentina away, South Africa away, and France away before all of that, I thought this was a really, really important game for England. And they've butchered it. However, there were Scottish fans, and some of them are still probably minded to say Gregor Townsend has had his time. He's not going to do anything with this team. We're not going to win anything. We're not going to go deep in at a World Cup. So I don't think that has fundamentally changed. Everyone feels good and has had a great weekend. But yeah, I would say it's probably more frustrating to be a Scotland fan.
100%. I mean, you look at that back line, and I think that was a key for me is when Finn Russell is having a day, that Scottish team has a day. I mean, it looks like he almost plays in slow motion. He has so much time on the ball. He's not that explosive or athletic, but he just seems difficult to tackle. I thought Ben White's distribution from the ruck was pinpoint. And then you look at the centres, Tuipulotu and Hugh Jones, made Tommy Freeman look a bit stupid.
Yeah. And he demonstrated why experience at that level, and why I think probably one of the things I reflected on is Wales. I was talking about it before the competition. This is great for England because they get Wales and then Scotland, and then it builds up to Ireland and France with Italy in there as well. But actually, I think possibly the reverse might be true. England had the confidence to put Tommy Freeman, who is not experienced in a 13 jersey, they had the confidence to put him in against a really good team and a brilliant centre partnership because they played a team that are really bad. And that got exposed. Yeah. Finn Russell, I can understand why and I get this quite often on comments on my channel and stuff, when I talk Finn Russell up, I see him have days like this regularly. And I understand if you're around the world and you just watch Scotland against South Africa every now and again, or when Scotland are getting panned by New Zealand, then you could build up a picture in your head of what that guy is like. He is a rare talent, a very, very rare talent. And around him, because he plays in Bath, around him, you've got all these Glasgow Warriors players who, didn't you think they just played like Glasgow Warriors on Saturday?
Yeah, they did. And I mean, that's why Glasgow Warriors are also at the top of the URC at the moment. I want to talk a little bit about Finn Russell. He seems to thrive in chaos. Like, he might be one of the most unstructured rugby players we see. He thrives when it's chaotic. And I thought it was quite interesting to kind of see the different styles on show. England were sort of fall back into their structure, where Scotland and Finn Russell try to make it as chaotic as possible. And I think what illustrates this point the best is, I think England were 14 points down, and they get a penalty. There's a scrum, or there's a penalty on the 5-meter line. Xander Ferguson's on a yellow card warning, and they opt to take the 3 points right in front of the sticks when they should have just scrummed, potentially got Scotland down to 14 men. It just seemed a little bit of the decision making wasn't correct. They were 14 points behind, they smelt blood, and they didn't go after it. So it was almost this like them leaning back onto their system rather than playing what's in front of them. It was a bit confusing for me.
Yeah, and you know what your boys would have done in that situation?
Scrum them.
And they wouldn't have needed the coaches. They wouldn't have needed the coaches with a traffic light to have felt what that moment demanded. They would have just known it. And yeah, I totally agree with you. I 100% agree with you. And yeah, I mean, just and then down to the basic tactics on the kicking game. England last week used the long kicking game quite well. They tried to do that against Scotland. Scotland did not let them do it because they just ran the ball back with the kind of freedom that Glasgow Warriors play with. And we're like, no, we're not going to get sucked into that game. And then England went, oh, what do we do now? Computer does not compute this. Yeah. This wasn't meant to happen. The formula. So yeah, I totally agree with you. There was a very strongly sticking to the game plan and not, yeah, exactly as you say, not changing the picture when the picture on the field changes. And that's absolutely something this team have got to learn.
We seem to talk about the high ball. It's sort of become a theme over the first 2 weeks of the Six Nations. And here's a stat for you: is Carl Steyn and Tom Jordan won 12 out of their 17 battles in the air. So it seems like the air battle is where it's won at the moment. We saw France against Ireland. France dismantled them in the air, put plenty points on them. We saw Scotland dismantle England in the air. And I don't think it's random or coincidence. I think there is something to do with, if you can win your air battles, you're on the front foot, the defense is scrambling. And it's going to be interesting now to see England go up against Ireland next week and to see if they improve that air battle. If Ireland, I mean, I thought Ireland's air battle was a lot better this week against Italy, but a lot to work on ahead of Ireland.
Yeah, but the other one, you're absolutely right. And Carl Steyn and Tom Jordan were fantastic. Carl Steyn in particular was imperious. But it's the air battle, actually winning the tap, but then it's winning the scraps on the floor when it isn't cleanly caught. And Scotland won that battle as well. I thought Jamie Ritchie was a really smart selection. I know he was only on for the first half, but he kind of set the tone. That's something that Guy Pepper for England, that's kind of what he's picked for. He's brilliant at being that scavenger, just getting all the loose balls, and they all fell Scotland's way. Sometimes those 50-50s go more for you than against you. And again, that's another time when you go, okay, well, are we just going to keep robotically sticking to this, or are we going to change the script? And there was no plan B. That's definitely a takeaway for England, and disappointing. But you got to say, fair play, Scotland. What a day!
What a day for Scotland. But in my opinion, I don't think that was the best game of the weekend. I think Ireland-Italy was fantastic, and arguably Italy should have won that game. I mean, end of the first half, they had that 5-meter line out. They could have gone 17-10 up. Sort of the 50th minute, just after the second half break, they get a disallowed try with that forward pass. Italy, and there was a world where Italy could have been 14 points up with sort of 30 minutes to play.
Quickly talk to me about the try. What are you saying? It's
a weird one because the ball does go forward. It does. But there's momentum. I think that law it needs to be nailed down a lot, because I think there's a grey area there, and I think that pass is exactly in that grey area. I'll say it's a try just because I wanted Italy to win and just because I predicted Italy to win. So I was like, come on, boys. What are you saying? Because it is 50-50 for me there.
Yeah, and it does travel forward physically, but that doesn't mean it was a forward pass, which pickles the head of kind of casual rugby fans, many of which are the ones that tune in for the Six Nations. You know, a normal game might get, you know, a club game might get 500,000 people watching, whereas 6, 7, 8 million people will watch a Six Nations game. So they're watching that and going, how can that be a try? It went forward. Yeah, it did, but it was a try for me. I don't understand why it got called off. I thought Menoncello's hands were flat, if not slightly backwards. But the fact it's up in the air shows, and it's, you know, every Irish fan thought it was not a try. Every Italian fan thought it was, and probably every neutral fan wanted it to be a try, like you say. Italy, let's just talk about their scrum for a second, because
I was about to say, you know who was also in the air? Was Ty Furlong.
Yeah, Air Furlong. He's going to get a new deal with Nike. That was amazing. Like, we saw the signs of that in July, didn't we? When Italy scrum did pretty well against South Africa, and they're legit, aren't they? And it wasn't even just the starters; it was the replacements came on. Spaniolo was the one that took Furlong into the skies. I've never seen that before. That was amazing.
They're looking like a very scary team. And I mean, Rassie Erasmus called it before the Six Nations. He said, watch out for Italy. They're an improving side. And I made a video sort of saying that I'm getting more and more nervous for that World Cup opener that the Springboks have against Italy, because they're just going to keep getting better from here. Sort of 18 months out. This is almost, they haven't peaked yet, I don't think. And it's going to be interesting to see what they do against France next week away from home. That is going to be the ultimate test. But Italy are looking dangerous. A couple of silly errors that they probably shouldn't have made against Ireland, which cost them the game. But along with their scrum, how good is their defense, their heart, their line speed? They turn into a really, really good side.
Yeah, and they've got some real superstar players, haven't they? Manuel Zuliani is class act. Lamaro is so good seeing him back. And you talk about the kind of leadership from England wasn't quite there in terms of, you know, managing the game in the moment. Michele Lamaro is brilliant at that, and the way he builds rapport with the referees, he's amazing. But he's playing fantastically as well. And in the back line, I mean, Menoncello he's one of the best players in the world. I think and I know because Esterhazen and Dialende are incredible. I think Menoncello is fast approaching world 15, maybe best in his position. He's getting close, getting very, very close.
He was. I think it sounded like they kept saying Lemoncello, so Donna was having quite a good laugh at that. But Menoncello, you know who isn't improving fast and going to make a World 15 anytime soon?
Ooh,
it's good old Sammy boy.
It's a problem, isn't it?
It's a massive problem.
You can't hide someone on an international rugby pitch. You cannot be hidden in defence. You're going to be found out. And for all of the good things he does, it's a problem. It's a real problem. And as soon as his name is put down on the team sheet, then you're going to have coaches going, okay, we're getting the Prendergast playbook out. Yeah, you're running at 10. You're running at 10. You're running at 10. It's they're going to be exposed. It's tough.
Surely they just start Jack Crowley. I mean, he came on and he was pretty good in that second half. Yeah, he kicked the ball dead to deny themselves a bonus point. But beyond that, I thought he was a lot better than Sam.
Yeah, 100%. Pick Jack Crowley. I mean, I kind of don't understand why he wasn't the automatic choice and Sam Prendergast wasn't kind of just brought in, him given the easier games and then 20 minutes in the tougher games, and then he's ready if Jack Crowley goes out injured. But Jack Crowley, I think, had proved himself. He won a Grand Slam as Ireland's fly half, 2 years ago? Not Grand Slam, a Six Nations Championship 2 years ago, as Ireland's 10, following the World Cup. So I don't really understand why he wasn't the main man anyway.
So how are you feeling then for next week? England, Ireland. I mean, Ireland not looking their best. England probably had their worst game in the last 2 years against Scotland. At home is a big benefit. Ireland definitely has something to come out and prove. I think we will see Jack Crowley in that 10 jersey, which is going to give them a little bit something different. Do England start Finn Smith? Do they make a couple of changes, or do they not panic? Because they were exposed this weekend against Scotland. So do you think Borthwick makes a couple of changes or not?
I think quite possibly there will be a couple of changes in the back three. George Furbank is back fit and available, and I think him at 15 changes the dynamic of the England team. What it also allows, if you have George Furbank, who has played at fly half, he plays at Northampton, so he's very familiar with the guys in the back line, Alex Mitchell and Tommy Freeman and all the rest of it. I think what you may then see is, because you have a second playmaker at 15, then you can have maybe bigger, more physical centres. And if Ollie Lawrence is available, maybe Ollie Lawrence comes into the centre as well. That would be the changes that I think I would make. And I wouldn't, but beyond that, I would probably keep it the same, not panic. So Freddie Stewart out. Also, I thought Tom Roebuck, if he's not winning the aerial battles, he suddenly looked like, what's the point of having him there? You're there to do one job, and you didn't do that job. So Faye Waboso's out for the whole Six Nations, unfortunately. So I don't know, but do they make a change there? So yeah, my changes would actually be in the back three, maybe centre. Stay calm. We're not a bad team overnight. We're at Twickenham. Go out and absolutely take all those frustrations out on Ireland. And
do you think they move Freeman to? Do you think they move Freeman to wing with Arundel's red card?
Arundel won't be suspended from the game. He'll still be available for the match
because there was 2 yellows.
But I thought the first yellow card was really harsh, and actually I thought the second one was quite. I can understand it, but I thought it was a little bit harsh as well. So I felt sorry for him. I don't know. I would make some changes in the back line. But what happens, games like this always happens, and it's so frustrating being an England fan. Last week, George Ford's amazing. And I was pointing out that there were loads of England fans who are now saying George Ford's amazing, who were saying he should never play for England again when he missed that drop goal in 2024 against New Zealand that would have won the game.
Sounds like Armani Lebouk.
Yeah. And then he has, England have a poor game. I didn't think George Ford was the problem for England, especially. And suddenly he should never play for England again. England fans frustrate the heck out of me, honestly, because they're so fickle, and they always seem to want the younger player in, and they don't respect experience. And actually, when it comes to Ireland, I thought as soon as Jameson Gibson Park came back on, you sort of thought, oh, okay, everything's okay here. James Lowe actually did all right. He's lost a yard of pace, but he's a really good player. And as you said, Jack Crowley's got more experience than Sam Prendergast, and things looked better when he was on the field.
Yeah, that's going to be an absolutely massive fixture. You going to that one or not?
No. I'll be watching that one at home. I'm doing so much traveling, Jordan, that I just I want to be at home. Yeah. I'm in like land of your ancestors, because you're from up north. You're from Pretoria. I'm in the south of the Netherlands, Maastricht, at the minute, and it feels very familiar. Like the street names feel very Afrikaans.
Well, give me a couple of examples.
Oh, I can't see a street name now. Oh, it's all. I can't think of any. I can't think of any now. Sorry.
Van Riebeek.
It just.
Are they
looks
lots of fun?
If it wasn't these old 250, 300-year-old beautiful houses that look very European. Here, I'll show you out the window. My friend is Australian. He's got his Australian flag out the front. But if it wasn't for that, you would just the actual way when you hear people speak walking past you, and when you see all the street signs and stuff, I would think I could be in the north of South Africa. It's a cool place.
Well, it looks very, very sunny there. The weather looks great.
It's all right. But at the minute it's carnival, which is something that happens. I don't know if you have like the version of that. So in Europe we have so Tuesday is it's Pancake Day, Shrove Tuesday, where everyone makes pancakes, sweet food, and it's something you do every year, and it's part of an old tradition that goes back hundreds centuries. And here they have a carnival where basically everyone dresses up and just goes out on the piss for 5 days straight, and we're in the middle of that. But there's only so much of that you can do. So we're now going up north where they don't have a carnival. So anyway, I'm in the land of your ancestors, and it's lovely, mate. It's lovely. And I was glad not to be near many Scots at the weekend. Hopefully, I'll be happy to mix with my Irish mates this weekend. We'll see.
Yeah, Irish. I love the Irish and the Scottish, so they know how to sink a couple of pints.
They can
Talk
do
to me
that.
about Wales, because yes, 54-12, and yes, they didn't get off to a great start in that game, but I thought Wales showed a little bit of grit, a little bit of balls in that game against France, and definitely an improved performance from England last week.
Yeah, that's where we're at with Wales, isn't it? We scored 2 tries, and the difference between the teams was less than 50 points. Woo! That's probably just a measure of where Wales are at the minute.
I'm trying to be
And
positive here, Tim.
yeah, 100%. I think you're right too. It's going to be a long, long road, so you've got to take the little wins wherever they come, and that was a victory. They scored a couple of good tries. They made themselves difficult to beat, especially in the second half. Well, the final 20 minutes, and yeah, take that as a step forward, and they can keep improving. And I mean, I don't know where the next win's coming from. Probably against Japan in the Nations Championship. It's probably the only game that they're going to win this year.
It would be the most Scottish thing for them to go and lose to Wales this weekend.
Oh, that would be peak Scotland. Peak Scotland. Yeah. Yeah, it could happen. You never know. I reckon if they can make it tight and close. Where's that game? Is it in Cardiff again?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that will help. It can't be helping that there was 20,000 people not buying a ticket at the weekend.
Yeah. What's the capacity of that stadium? Because I mean, there were 57,000 people there. It's their lowest attendance ever. But
lowest Six Nations attendance ever. Hold on. I'm just doing some live. Principality Stadium.
It must be about 70,000 or so.
Yeah, I think it's 74,000. I can't. Oh, my
look. I mean, for some perspective, 57,000 is going to sell out almost every stadium here in South Africa. So
fair.
It's still a big crowd.
But this is Six Nations.
Yeah, but if the Springboks were on that type of losing streak, you would struggle to get 15,000.
It's so mad, actually. I watched some old games that come up on the Sky TV in the UK. Some old rugby championship match or super whatever it was, rugby championship games, and Tri Nations as it was, and there were watch Loftus with a whole end that was basically empty during the mad years.
Yeah,
it was nuts.
Yeah.
74,500 is the official capacity of the Principality. But that equates to, which isn't making Wales' job any easier, that equates to millions and millions of pounds over 3 games. So
that's true.
And they need worrying all the money times. But anyway, as you say, Wales fans have been through enough. Let's be positive. Come on, you can do it.
You can do it. France are unbelievable. That back line is a joke. It's an absolute. It looked like for portions,
and there was like 2 new centres as well.
Yeah, for portions of that game, it looked like they were playing sevens. Like they were just throwing the ball around. There wasn't much depth. It was just like, let's look for a gap here and there. Boom. Louis Bielbielri is pound for pound one of the best rugby players in the world at the moment. Atta Sogby is right there. The explosiveness on that guy is unreal. And then obviously, I thought Ramos had a bit of not an off day, but he wasn't at 100%. But I mean, that backline is just freakish.
Yeah, they've got just the raw materials. Like pace is scary, and they've got so much of it. And the fact is that it wasn't so long ago we were going, where are France's next centres going to come from? And now they've got a whole crop of really promising players. And they're only going to get better because a lot of these guys the 2 centres were 21 and were 20 and 22. The wingers were 21 and 22. So they're only going to get much better in the next year and a half. So, yeah, I've been saying that for me they're the second best team in the world, but not just because of what they're able to do right now, but because of the potential that the team has. And they're in a good spot. Everything that's wrong with Wales is right with France. Their domestic league and their domestic teams are really good. The academy system and the pathways are all in place. The fans are engaged, and it's everything opposite to Wales right now. And we saw that on the field with the scoreline in the end. But the Garibaldi Trophy that Italy and France are playing for, that France have always found Italy tricky, even when they weren't as good as they are now.
Italy are always tricky, but away from home, and I know they played away from home now against Ireland, but I still get that feeling that Italy is that team that they're like Argentina still at the moment. They're going to put two good performances together. I'll be very, very surprised if they put a good performance together against France. I think it's one of those games where they could get a little bit of a reality check. France on an unbelievable side. I'm going to be very interested to see what team France play, how much respect they give Italy. But I think that it could be a little bit of a reality check for them, 20, 25 points to France.
I think that absolutely could be the case. I think one interesting thing is, so France's main centres are both out. If Brex comes back, we saw inexperienced international centres for England getting exposed at the weekend by a really experienced centre pair. I think that could be one area Italy have a real edge over France. For all that I just said about their good crop of centres, Brex and Manicello are just, they are elite.
You could throw Olivon into the centre. You could definitely throw Olivon into the centre. That guy's also a bit of a freak of nature.
Yeah, they're so good. I'm looking forward to that game. But Italy always managed to drag France down to their level. So we'll see. We will see. I'm going for a France win. I'm going for a Scotland win. Obviously, the big game, really, the one that's most up in the air is England-Ireland. I'm backing the boys for that one at Twickenham.
No, 100%. I'm also going to be watching a little bit of Varsity Cup tonight, so I can feedback on some of those rule changes. And then obviously also starting my rugby season today, so I'm going to see how unfit I am.
Oh, what'd you do in a first training session? Are they going to have you doing the Bronco or anything?
It sounds like a lot of running. I don't know if there's going to be much touching of balls today.
On that bombshell, Jordan, I'm glad we got the pod in now rather than when you're a broken man tomorrow.
100%.
Yeah, no worries, man. I'll be back home soon. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Come and join the Republic of Rugby. Sorry, I didn't mean to point. That's rude. Come and join the channel. Come and join the channel. Join the Republic of Rugby and check in soon for more from the Six Nations. I will get some feedback on the Varsity Cup, how those new laws are bedding in, if we see anything of it, and then all sorts more between. I need to get you to, in a future episode, Jordan, just try and teach me about the schools rugby as well. That's another little piece of the jigsaw that I need to fill in. So anyway, we've got loads of stuff to talk about. Have a great day, mate. Enjoy your training. I'll see you on the next one.